You know, I call Pirates the biggest big game team because they have a respect for moments. What Pirates had done this season was not to allow their egos to win. Fukeng can play, Kota can play, Tito can play, all of those players can play. But what they had mastered this season was discipline. And this game was a game where they let their egos win. They saw Pyramids playing, they wanted to play as well. They saw Pyramids open, they wanted to open them as well. But the truth about African football, at the CAF level, at AFCON level, is that boring wins. If you look at what Pirates had been doing up to this point, they were boring. It wasn't coming from great play. It wasn't coming from, back and forth. And the truth of the matter is that, to be honest, we don't have good enough finishers to be playing ping pong football. Pyramids is one of the highest scoring teams in Africa. You weren't going to outscore them with a team that barely plays the football that they display today. And this again goes to prove that this better football, this beautiful football, this exciting football does not win you games. Not in the CAF Champions League. And I'm so sad and disappointed because I thought Pirates was right there at the door. We saw something similar with Kaizer Chiefs when they got to the final. The football you have been playing to get you up to this point finished the job. We were looking at an all South African final, and I think my biggest issue is why change things now? We've seen Sibisi become one of the standout defenders of this season. We've seen Usibisi stand up and put his hand up after Abonda had gone out, after Abotoki had gone out. We've seen him play with ULTP Umbogas and create a fighting partnership. Why bring Toki back into that? And what's crazy is that I understand the thinking. He's taller, you need some height, you're afraid of crosses, but he's a step off. Do the thing he had been doing. Abumako had been playing well in that back three. Short, yes, small, all of that stuff, but he had been playing well. We saw the midfield, again the midfield. Mbata and Makaula, great defensively. But when you have to play the ball out, it becomes an issue. And I say this all the time, that be defensive. You can play defensively. But every now and then, you must remind them. Craft it. Play the ball out so that they see that you guys are still dangerous. So that they think twice in throwing players forward. But what shocked me the most was in that second half, we weren't watching ping pong anymore. We were watching Pirates playing half ground. We were watching Pyramids entering the box with intention. They were finding their players, they were playing. And the moment that Pirates won it back, what was going to happen? They were all tibang. And for me, when you look at that game, I understand what the plan maybe was. That you come into the game, you play Mahopa, You try catch them on the counter, you play a back five, you defend deep. Then there'll come a time where Pyramids will be under pressure as the home team to try get a goal. And in the second half, you bring Nambabasa, then you play the ball out. So in the first half, what we saw was a Mahopa in the game. They were trying to play some long balls, but what happens is that Abamfukeng gets swallowed by the high balls because they have to compete with a physical defender. So you put in Mahopa, you take out Tito. Like I said, the three of them for me can't play together. Mahopa, Tito, and Mfukeng, they can't play together. Jose saw it. The last time we saw Paris do well, Mfukeng was off. Then today we saw Tito off so that you could give Mahopa the space to drop inside and win the first balls and play that football that he plays and shift defenders, right? Then in the second half, okay, so I know I stopped the video a lot and a lot of you are wondering, why are you asking for money? So I wanted to show you. I asked for money because I want to do more of this. Huh? But the truth of the matter is that it took over an hour in order just to render that shot. And it takes even longer when I'm doing my normal content because, guys, here's the unsung hero of the channel. And unfortunately, Shem, but the screen is broken. I have to use a second screen and the performance is not up to it. So I'd really love to upgrade things like that. And when you look over here, this is what the setup looks like. Rehenga di patlo and rehenga di green screen, which is a reality of being a South African content creator. Also, this is what people think is my studio. It's actually my house. So if you still don't know that I'm doing all of this from my home, then I don't know. But that is essentially what I want to do. More of these cool things. But I need you guys to please help me out by donating 50 Rand or more into this account. You know, we're fighting for multi-choice. And multi-choice, but there is subscription models all over the place. And I'd love to give the biggest quality while also being able to pay my rent and do things like that. That is where your money is going. And I promise to give you only the best content that I can if you do throw something in. So I just wanted to show you guys what I want to do with your money. I want to take this South African football and fulfill my dream of taking it into the future. But thank you guys so much. Remember, this is the bank account that you deposit into. Get back into the video. When they start attacking you, you do what you did against CR Belouizdad, where now you can give the ball to Abamfukeng on their feet and they can be facing defenders 1v1 in transition, and you take advantage of their skills, their ability to go and score and do those things and take on players, right? But because it was back and forth, you didn't have the time to do that. And the one thing that I have always stressed again about African football is that it's not about who scores the most. It's not about how dominant you are. It's about who can take the chances when they are given to them. Who can take advantage of the mistakes. That's what African football is about. 2 mistakes by Koki. 2. And you lose focus. The first thing they tell you in football, when you score, the first 10 minutes, it's called a critical phase. There's different types of critical phases. Pirates did very well with the first critical phase, the first 10 minutes of the game. Pyramids came at them hard in the first 5 minutes. They survived. That's good. Last 5 minutes of the half, they concede. 5 to 10 minutes of the half, they concede. Going into half time. Then the next group of critical phases is what happens after you score and concede. They always tell you that after you concede, you're likely to concede again. So you try and keep everybody under wraps. There's usually a captain figure who'll go, guys, relax. But also, after scoring, you're vulnerable. And in both goals, Pirates concedes within 5 to 10 minutes of scoring their own goal. So now you're sitting with, okay, we've just scored. There's a 10 minutes where you have to make things boring. That's going to be the lesson for today. You have to make things boring. You have to make things mechanical. You have to pass the ball around. You have to stifle the other team. If it means lying down a little, just to calm down, they need to strike back. Pirates didn't do that because why? Everybody wants to go back and forth. Focus is a key part of African football, whether it's AFCON, CAF Confed, CAF Champions League. Focus. Focus is what killed Mamelodi Sundowns over all of these years. Focus. The ability to stay in games. And then what happens is you go and score the first goal, they score and reply. You score the second one, they score and make it 2-2. Now, you can't defend at that moment. You can't. You can't sit back at that moment. You can't park the bus at that moment. You park the bus at 2-1 when you've got 2 away goals. That's when you park the bus. But if you park the bus towards the end, Sundowns will tell you in the league, they will hit you and hit you and hit you and hit you until something breaks, until somebody slips, until a ball gets shot and until a ball gets headed and Chain makes the save but can't follow up because now you are all distracted with defending. I'm really disappointed in Pirates. I'm really disappointed in Pirates because they've played way too many games of consequence. They've played way too many games where, you know, it's been big games. And they've shown this season so much growth. But now at the biggest stage, that's when you allow your ego to take over. And that is what happened to Pirates today. Pyramids stuck to their guns. They played their football. They played the same football they played in the beginning, in the first leg. Pirates played the same football. They scored the 2 goals. Pyramids scored another 2, and they were able to get the 3. It should not have gotten to that point. It should have been a 1-0. Boring. It should have been a 2-1. Boring. So many chances for them to just break it down. Maybe this is the lesson. This beautiful football that we love and we champion and we're behind all the time. This exciting football. Hey, they're going back and forth. This beautiful football leads to many distractions, leads to unfocused minds, and then this happens. So maybe we should also pull back from making fun of this other football and these other countries who are not better, who are not this, who are not that. Nice you Pirates. Unlucky Mapagania. Hopefully you guys can come back next year. Jose might not be there, but let's see how Pirates bounces back from this. You still have the Nedbank Cup to play, which could be, again, your 6th trophy in 3 years, which would be incredible. You still have the league to play for, games in hand. You could chase Mamelodi Sundowns down. But this was disappointing. I'll see you guys on the next one.